Ladies and gentlemen, fans of all ages, welcome to another episode of Fanz, where you, the fan, can compete. I'm your host, Ash Benny, and I'm here with my boy Chris, of course. How you
What
doing
up,
today, Chris?
though? I'm lit. It's a 313 day. You know what I'm saying? So for
Oh
all
yeah,
intents
happy
and purposes,
313 day. Yes.
yeah,
Happy
appreciate
313
it.
day.
Like I always pay homage to my birth mother. I'm a foster child. Saginaw is the home I was raised in. But yeah, I always show love to my birth mom.
Absolutely. Shout out to her. So we welcome to a new season. Today we're going to discuss Kanye releasing Vultures Volume 2 online, the artist spotlights, of course, and as well as a congressional bill that's set to increase stream payouts and
Mhm.
more. Before we get into all of that, we want to remind you to follow us on all social media platforms, OTS Media Co. and OTS Media on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always notified when we post. So, man, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Let's get into first segment of the show. What's the 411?
What's the 411? What's the 411?
So, we have today a very interesting topic. I wanted to really get into this Kanye West situation.
Talk about it.
Yeah, so I found it really interesting that Ty Dolla Sign and Kanye West kind of made the ultimate decision to release Vultures 2, Vultures Volume 2 online for $20.
I'm with it though. Like I'm not, but I am.
Yeah, so there's basically a whole pushback on putting the album on streaming services. Is the album currently on streaming services right now?
I haven't seen Vultures 2. I checked for it last night. One still is. And I don't think he gonna disrupt that flow of money. Like, but it ain't
Yeah.
nothing different than what he did with Donda Volume 2,
Yeah. So like in a lot of ways, if it's also on streaming, like it's still there's still that option. You don't necessarily have to pay the $20. Which how do you feel about the $20 price tag
That's pretty legit to
for
be honest.
for
So
for digital, not physical?
um you gotta look at it two ways though, right? On one hand, like you don't have a physical copy, because I actually thought it might have been a physical press. But even
Yeah.
if it's not, right, like you can still ensure that there are ways that you actually have like a digital copy of it. So I think if you look at it from like Kanye perspective, right, the way
Yeah.
things are nowadays, you can find a way to like rip the audio file and
Yeah.
you can float around illegal copies. So it's like if you only making pennies on the dollar per stream and you're gonna get X amount of streams and like that is what it is. Like you have a very limited cap in what you can make anyway. So if I can go ahead and get a whole bunch of like pre-orders like done, and I can get like like Nipsey Hussle did, right?
Yeah.
He sold 1,000 copies for $100. So if I can get $20, about maybe 10,000 in pre-orders, knowing that you're gonna pirate the rest of it, I probably might have made more than what I could have streaming it.
Yeah, that's true. And in a lot of ways, it is very innovative because at the end of the day, I'm for artists. I'm all for artists making whatever like they deserve in terms of their earnings back. I feel like a lot of times the splits
Oh,
they they
yeah.
really play out a lot of these artists, especially Kanye. Like I'm sure we're all no strangers to Kanye's history with like record labels and his long legal bouts with his masters and
Yeah.
all of those crazy situations. But I actually wanted to pull up this article from Hip Hop DX.
Okay.
So I actually, so it says Ty Dolla Sign has addressed Kanye West's plan to sell Vultures 2 for $20 instead of putting it on streaming services. In a text message exchange that was shared on Ye Fanatics' Instagram stories on Sunday, March 10th, the California crooner explained to a unspecified recipient why selling the album is a frugal decision. So just wanted to clarify, I said that it was Ty Dolla Sign and Kanye West. It's seemingly Kanye West who has made this ultimate decision to put the pricing like this online. It
Mm-hmm.
says though the exact source of the message remains unclear. Okay, let's see. It says, bro, don't yet let Ye. The initial message read, bro, don't let Ye release the album on the website. You lose a lot more, and they will piracy the album, and this will hinder you in an absurd way. Unconvinced by this argument, Ty responded with a 6 paragraph message beginning with, that's what these streaming services want you to believe so they can stay on top. Music costs us money and time to make, but they don't want us to get paid for it. They're selling they're selling the audience subscriptions and renting our music out while giving us a fraction of a penny. Crying laughter emoji. I hear what you're saying, but we're already number one with the first. He concluded, it's time to figure out the unlock on how to bring the music straight to our audience and cut the middleman out. Artists are getting, oh wow, he uses an explicitive. If you want to see if you want to know what that is, just
I,
look for the article from Hip
I
Hop
got an
EX.
idea.
Yeah, and that has to stop. So Ty Dolla Sign seemingly co-signing this entire situation. So I mean, yeah, I can't really disagree with what he's saying because at the end of the day, when you're an artist and you are making music and you're putting those time and those hours, especially when it comes to recording time, time to shoot music videos,
Yeah.
conceptual art, all of these things and the passion that time and passion that goes into creating these projects, if you want to set a price, you 100% should be able to set that price. And we know in the past that there have been multiple ways of innovation with selling music and distributing music. So I I I think it's a smart move. I have to see though if Vultures 2 is on streaming. Like if it's on Apple Music.
Actually, let me pull up my Spotify and see now. Because I checked last night just for the fun of it, and it definitely was not.
Yeah, it's not. I think just the song itself, like the first single, is Vultures. So
I mean, the Vultures album is available online still,
yes, of
like the
course, but
stream, but like not
I don't.
volume two,
Okay, okay,
unless Apple Music still beefing with Kanye,
okay. Yeah. No,
which is a
volume.
go ahead.
The first Vultures one is here.
Which I find that brings in so many good points to talk about though, right? So one of my biggest things is side note, I want to address this real quick. We talked about 313 today. Completely off topic. But for people looking like, why his hat don't match his jersey? That's because these the same teams. Little do y'all know. Of course, this is the Detroit Tigers, but this is the Detroit Stars. This is the Negro League team out of Detroit.
Okay,
You feel me? So
we love to
just
see it. We
history
love to
lesson.
see it. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, back to like Kanye, right? So I know he was talking about his issues with like Apple. He was like, yo, it wasn't available. Y'all kind of like messing up stuff. And there's not a lot of parity between all the different streaming platforms. You don't have parity between Tidal, Apple, Amazon, iHeart,
yeah,
Spotify. And as a consequence, you see things where you have like exclusive releases here. You got certain deals there where somebody might have like an album drop and it's not available on other platforms. So like an additional 3 days or an additional week.
yeah,
Somebody may say, well, hey, we don't like you, or we don't like what you stand for, or we don't like this music. We're not going to, release your music on our platform, but it's available on other platforms. Um, it's weird altogether. And honestly, I can kind of understand why Kanye feels how he feels when it comes to like even some of the marketing, because
yeah,
the biggest thing for an artist is to have hype. You generate hype, you generate sales. You
yep,
have no hype, you have no sales. And especially in the streaming era, like it's different than when we grew up. Like we knew album releases were only on Friday.
yeah,
Sometimes we would like slide to the mall or to the store real quick, like during lunch, or like, you knew that like FYE, like a Sam Goody or something, like yo, there was gonna be like lines out the door if it was gonna be like a fire album drop.
yeah,
And you generated all your money because there was so much hype that you bought this copy for 16, 17, $18. and then you ain't find out until later, like, oh man, this ain't it. I'm good on it. But like that's how they make their money because they got to recoup that studio time, the
Facts.
production budget, like
Yeah.
the advertising budget, like
Yeah.
everything they did. And so now with the streaming era, you can like listen to 15 seconds of a song, be like, I'm good. You can get on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. Hey man, that's trash. Don't listen to it. A bunch of people gonna believe it. All your hype is dead off a 15-second snippet, and you are no longer generating any money off of this.
Yeah. A lot of and nowadays like perception is everything. Like once you have that, once you're perceived to be corny or the sound isn't it,
Yeah,
that's just going to be the blanket statement across most of social media, unfortunately.
which is sad. Yeah, a lot of I've noticed society, and it's a whole nother conversation. But like for real, is like heavy on the monkey see, monkey do nowadays.
Oh yeah,
Like I
for
think the
sure.
critical thinking and the just like trying, checking stuff out, like they work hand in hand, and I think it lacks in a lot of areas. So you
Yeah.
have people who are willing to accept stuff just because it generated hype, and
Mm-hmm.
people who are like willing to reject stuff because it didn't generate hype. And the
Exactly.
reality is like you could generate hype simply because it's good, but you won't even give it a chance. And then you
Yeah.
also hype up like trash stuff just because, and it kind of perpetuates like the mess that we really don't need in here anyway. But
Yeah. Yeah. I
this
mean, I
ain't
feel like a
Texas.
lot
We
of
ain't
it.
gonna hold them.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about
Yeah, we
it.
gonna talk about that.
But I feel like a lot of it comes from like the comfortability
That's real.
of nowadays. Like I feel like a lot of people don't really want to get out of their comfort zone. I feel like a lot of people are very sure of who they are and they're like, I'm not gonna like this. Like I get that a lot. Like when like I'm like describing something to someone, like a movie or any type of music or anything like that, I get like a lot of like, like that
Nah,
doesn't
that's
really
real.
sound like my sound. Like it's not necessarily that I don't like it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just not my sound, which is fair, but I kind of wish that more people nowadays kind of took those risks and also supported the artists that they enjoy listening to. That's the biggest thing. Like if you enjoy listening to an artist, support them by buying the song, you know?
that's
You
real.
know,
That's
buying the
real.
song and trying to get some type of return for these artists because nowadays making music, there's a reason why you see a lot of these rappers nowadays, it's not just music anymore. They've got deals in different alcohol brands and different different clothing brands as well as like numerous ventures with food and restaurants. So money, like there's not a lot of money to be seen in music the way that it has been in previous years. So I'm just hoping that with this, because you know Kanye is a trendsetter, I hope that it's just beneficial to the artists. Like if they choose to do
So
that, at the end of the day, I'm just hoping that the artists are the ones who benefit from it ultimately.
okay, so I know we got like limited time, but like, yo, this topic is so much like it's way deeper than people realize. And
Yeah.
so as soon as you said that, like, it made me think of a like a video, screenshot, infographic, whatever you want to say. Like I saw on Instagram not too long ago, and a lot of times people are like, "Oh, but who says that's what's your source?" And I like this comes from the Housing and Urban Development Department. And so it talked about the prices for like rent versus income.
Yeah.
And it had it current as of August 2023.
Mm.
No, actually I made it up to November 2023. My bad. So basically starting in 1985, the price of rent and the price of the price of rent and your average income for the American was like neck and neck,
Mm-hmm.
right? But through the years, the price of rent has astronomically like gone up
Oh
while
yeah.
income is like low.
Stayed the
So
same.
yeah, so let's say 1985 was our 0 point. Since 1985, since 1985, your income has gone up roughly like 36, 38%, somewhere in there. So you got like a little over a third of an increase from like where you were at, right?
Yeah.
Or you could say 133% increase. The price of rent, however, has gone up like 260%.
Yeah, the cost of living is astronomically different from our
Yeah.
like the living wages currently.
Well, in short, like I bring that up too because this brings another thing up about streaming and the difficulties of it. Because you want to have these artists get the money at the same time. Like we have a value mindset that we're kind of like used to, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't make a lot of money. So if you telling me like
Facts.
as a student, I can pay $5 a month and I have access to all this music I want to listen to, I love that because when I didn't have these options available and I didn't have a lot of money, it was
Yeah.
difficult to see like, yo, man, I only got like $10. I need to figure out who I want to listen to because like this is all I can afford. I either got to
Yeah,
find
that's so
somebody
real.
with the CD and I got to
Yeah.
hope it ain't scratched. And, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah, that's so real. That's such a great point because been there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
College
it's
student,
like,
like 100% been there. But for me, like, I feel like now that I've gotten older and like I'm growing, as someone who's like a real appreciator of like
oh, for sure.
creators and of people who really have passion for the projects that they want to pursue, physical media is so important.
Oh,
Like,
I agree.
yeah, like physical media is so important. Like, there's so many movies that are just lost in the ether, so many like albums I presume as well, like lost in the ether because it's not on streaming. It's not something that was salvageable or like enough to
Or it
remaster.
wasn't cleared.
Yeah, or wasn't cleared. So a lot of these things, just a lot of people aren't rediscovering these things and finding these things because people aren't investing in
Mm.
physical media anymore, and it's so unfortunate. But to your point, at the same time, the cost of living is so crazy. It's to be able to buy something out of your norm, it would
Yeah.
probably be something, that would really mean worth to you. So
Well, and I want to end with this. I know that's time, but I want to say I do hope that Kanye doing this sparks a discussion on a larger end to find some
sure.
middle ground between what artists can and should reasonably charge, and then what platforms are able to give artists, especially of a certain tier. So the consumer is happy, the artist is happy, and the entity is happy.
For sure. For sure. And that's gonna be hard. Because these labels and
Greedy?
stuff, they're greedy. Yeah. But I think that's the perfect place to end it because the main topic of the show, I think, also kind of goes hand in hand with this.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely get back to this. But on to flashing lights.
Flashing lights.
So I did listen to a few things. One of the things that like helps me sneak through real easily. Streaming. Spotify has release radar, and they're like, hey, based on artists you selected, we also throw in a couple of artists that we think you
I love
might
that
like. Yeah, and then like it's real easy
algorithm.
to be like, oh man, let me see what's out
Yeah.
because we don't have music videos like that anymore on
Facts.
one BET or MTV. Like everything is digitized on the computer or the phone. If it ain't an Instagram ad, you probably don't see it.
Yeah.
And
So real.
I'll be doing way more than music. For those who don't know, I am a degreed, trained scientist, research scientist. So like I pretty much go to the gym afterwards, and I don't always want to listen to new music in the gym because you're not gonna kill my mood when this pre-workout hit and you crying over a song. Really don't have time for that. That's gonna interrupt the games.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
But man, who was it last week? I did listen to Harry Fraud. He dropped the album with Ransom. That's who it was. Cause like I
Okay,
fool with
okay.
Ransom from years back. Like I heard Ransom slide on some like tracks with some smooth like Philly artists, New Jersey artists, New York artists,
Yeah.
and Ransom sounded like I unfortunately expected him to. An older dude, still spitting.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's like you still got it, but it ain't like the grit ain't the same. It's like you just know what to do.
yeah. It's so funny that you say that because I wish that so many more like older rappers, like older just like artists in general, kind of went the Jay-Z route where it's like talk about what you know. That's what's
Yo.
got you popping. Like it may not be as relatable,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
444 is a
Hey,
classic.
that was
You know what I
cold.
mean?
That
Yeah,
was
you know what I mean? So it's
cold.
like talk about what you know, like talk about your experience. You know,
Oh,
I that's what actually is what entices you to the artist to begin with.
yeah. And I'm sorry, I sure I was going through my current release radar and I saw Asher Roth actually dropped a new track, and I'm like, that's
Oh,
coincidental.
coincidence? Yeah, coincidence.
But no, what you saying is super valid because I forgot who originally said it, and like it was either a quote or it's like snippet of an interview, but I agree. Specifically within the rap culture, like it's
Facts.
the only culture that is super negatively biased against people past a certain age doing the art. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
you
so
can
true.
forever be a legend if you Ozzy Osbourne or you Kiss, Eugene Simmons. They don't
Yeah,
care if you 70. They still want to hear your songs.
yeah,
ACDC, they cool with it. You do jazz and you 90, you cool. Like
yeah,
Herbie Hancock still plays in like his 80s. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Aaron Neville is like 83 and he's still doing his songs, whether it be the country or the jazz or like the folk or the, Cajun. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're a house artist, like if you can rock, people don't care how old you look. They just, all right, cool,
they
we
just
rocking
yeah,
with
they
you.
just want to bump it. Yeah, exactly,
Like
exactly.
R&B artist Smokey Robinson is still making songs talk about smashing women, which is absurd to listen
People letting
to.
it rock, but people letting it
Yeah,
rock.
because I know older folk, they actually some of the nastiest folks, statistically speaking, and I mean that
Real.
literally.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh man, they just have no cares. They be
Mm.
like, we can't get pregnant. What's up with it? It's not how science works,
It's wrong. It's wrong.
but yeah, but he's still making the songs. So it's like they're still doing that in the 80s. Like, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. One of my partners,
Yeah.
Pharrell Holmes from Saginaw. Shout out to him. Like he been doing that tour. Like we still talk about the Temptations. People still be like, y'all got Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder on the track. But let you rap past like 35. What you doing? Why you rapping? You need to play jazz. You ain't
Yeah.
got a life. You a little boy. Ooh, we don't want to
Yeah.
hear that. Even Andre 3000, he disappointed me so heavily. Like, what I'm gonna talk about? Life. Ain't that what you've
Life.
been talking about the whole time? Unless you've been lying.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there's like a stigma, you know what I mean? Like I feel like there's like because rap has so much like braggadocio connotations, like so flashy, out the mud type beat. It's
Yeah.
like what do you rap about once you have it all? You know what I mean?
Having
But
it all.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Like,
what are
it's
your
so
new
simple.
more money, more problems? Like, what are your new struggles? What's your new day to day? You know, like that's more interesting to me. Like when Drake was like talking about like his like 3 a.m., 9 a.m. series like of music where he's just talking about layovers, red eyes, this is my life, different girl every day, I'm rich. You know, like that's
Yeah.
your life. Like that's more realistic to listen to than you talking about pulling up on somebody's block. You know what
That's
I'm
real.
saying? And you know, like I'd rather hear about you being a businessman now. Like do just talk about what you know. It might not be interesting to you, but it's interesting to me.
Yeah. Not like I think that's the thing that's like a super huge misconception too. Again, and then I'm gonna lay pause. Didn't like that sentence. That was
The
not the
setup,
way
yeah,
to
the
say
way
it.
the sentence was
Yeah.
getting set up.
Then I'm going to switch away
Uh,
from speaking on ransom. There we go.
yeah.
Ooh, saying I'm going to lay
Okay.
off was crazy. But yeah, it's just one of those like bars are bars, point blank,
Yeah,
period. And
absolutely.
it's sad that like we put that stigma on because we'll talk about folks from the 70s and 80s. Like we'll laugh at Curtis Blow and be like, I used to rap like this, and you hear my song. And it's like, okay, cool. But if you got like a different flow and you can still talk about that, which is the reason
Yeah.
why I love folk like the Dom Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? Not saying everything
Yeah.
he says is relatable, but like it is a normal guy. Like I don't want to keep hearing songs about everybody having a Piaget or Audemars. Like half of y'all only
Yeah.
knew what those was because another star rapped about it anyway. So like,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and
Real.
knock that off. Like,
Real.
bro, you drive a Honda every day. and it's a good car. Like that's okay. You
Yeah.
know?
It gets you from A to B, like point A
Yeah,
to point
like
B.
talk
Like,
about chilling with your lady, kicking it with your partners, like having a good time. Like you do stuff with your money. What did you do? You went to the
yeah.
islands. Describe what it looked like. Like be more, visual. Be more imaginative than like
Yeah.
just the same old copy and paste from like
Same old, same
everybody
old.
else.
Yeah. And I feel
But
like that's like a big reason why I kind of like gravitated away a little bit, like the past couple years.
yeah, I
But
mean, it's still some decent stuff. Like I
oh,
listened to
for
French
sure.
Montana's album, or that's
Oh, I
true. I
haven't heard
said
it
decent
yet.
stuff. My bad. I said that wrong. It's still some decent stuff that's out. French Montana stuff is not decent.
Hmm.
It was pretty boring.
Okay.
I felt like he could have did a lot better. Um, who else did I listen to? I listened to Lil Blade. I was disappointed. That's a Blade Icewood's son, Detroit legend. Ari Bellinger was cooking. He had some
Okay.
smooth stuff. Quest 2R was a little different. Quest 2R is one of the new age rappers that's in the realm of like a NBA young boy. Like you could say something in that vein.
Okay.
I be
Okay.
liking stuff like that.
Yeah.
And apparently Kyle fixed his teeth and has some new releases coming out. So that's
Kyle
important.
has some new music coming out.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Oh
gonna be good since
wow.
he fixed his groove.
Oh, I want Kyle to succeed. I actually like I forgot who I saw, but he opened a show I saw
Word.
a couple years ago. Like I think it was like right when I was out of high school. But
Okay.
yeah, I was like I forgot it was that big song that he had. I forgot how it
Or
goes, but
fall in
I
love.
it was one of I forget how it went. I
Don't
forget the
wanna
name of it.
fall in love. Don't wanna break my heart.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
I'm
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
about to say
Yeah.
that one made it like super big
That
for
one was
him.
super mainstream. Yeah, that one was super mainstream. But some of the women on the women's side of things,
Yeah, let's
we
talk
had
about it.
it's a big month for women, boy. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm
Starting
here
off,
for it.
obviously, it seems like you really, 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 really want to talk about this. We
Let's
have
save it for the end.
okay, we'll save it for the end then. We'll save it for the end
Get
then.
some other ladies some shine right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for sure. So obviously the Oscars were this past weekend. So I just want to give a shout out to Billie Eilish because she made history. She is the first artist in this century to win Song of the Year twice, to win the Song of the Year category twice. That's a huge accomplishment. She's only like 22 years old. It's kind of like, what the
That's
hell
it.
do you do next? Yeah, she's only 22 years old.
She been out so long.
I know she's been out since she's 16 years old. Yeah.
Dang. All right.
Yes, also she was 16 years old. So shout out to Billy. I have loved What Was I Made For? It was a very sad song, but when you're in your sad girl mood, sometimes that's what you need. That's what you need. Moving on.
All right.
You have no notes.
You
No
know,
notes.
I'm see when I be like sad, I be listening to like stuff to make me happy. And then when I'm happy, I listen to stuff to make me
Oh,
happier. I'm one of them.
oh. I'm a ballad girl. I
Word.
love a ballad. I love a sad song. Like, like I love a sad song. Like, I
Yeah.
remember one time for like the eighth grade, we were going to some like water park, and I was playing like I forgot what album I was playing, but my friend was like, "This is a happy time. Why are you playing the sad album?" I was like, "I don't know. It just kind of like mellows me out, just puts me in like a
Mm.
nice like chill mood before I got to go out and do something."
Dang.
So yeah, I love ballad,
I
but
like a smooth ballad, but like it be feeling like it's taking forever to finish. But I be like so like up here that like when I'm sad, I be like cool silence. Then we gonna bring the happy back in.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes you need those type of up
Yeah.
songs.
But we can talk
But
about there's an artist I want to shout out that specifically like went with what I just said, but he's not from Detroit, so I'm gonna have to save him for next time.
okay. For sure, for sure. So we have so much new music releases for
Mm.
women. We have Dua Lipa, who's
Mm-hmm,
up and
mm-hmm.
who's coming up. I'm super super excited. She hasn't really
She
been
do this dance like this.
we she you got to go a couple chapters ahead. She dances now. She dances now. The community kind of bullied her into dancing. Yes, 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 yes.
Good.
One of the only pop stars who dances nowadays. So it's a dying art, but I think it's coming back. We have
All right.
Tinashe, Tate McRae. We have a couple of people who are killing
Okay.
it. But I like we haven't really gotten any confirmations in terms of an album name. We have the two singles. I'm not sure if you heard them, Training Season and Houdini. They've
Mm-mm.
been like a little bit on the radio. They've been a little bit on the radio. So
Oh, dang. I
I
don't
would
listen
check
to
them,
it.
but I would check it out. Fantastic, fantastic instrumentals. If there's like one thing that I'll say about Dua Lipa, her instrumentals are some of just like my favorite in pop music recently. Like they have like a very much kind of like 70s groovy feel that I really,
Okay.
really love. Like Future Nostalgia, the bass to me is the star of that album. Like the to me, the bass is the star of that album. Dua kills it. Obviously, it's one of my favorite albums of I guess like this decade, but the bass is the star of the show. Next, we got Billie Eilish. She's just announced that she's releasing new music. SZA has teased a new song. We have the UK girl group Flow. They just released a new song called Walk Like This. They are
Okay.
also teasing a new album as well. We have Halle Bailey, who is dropping a new single this Friday. Super, super excited. Super, super excited. Chloe dropped her sister. Chloe Bailey dropped a single at the start of the month. FYS. We have Cardi B, who is coming. I'm not sure if she's dropping her album this month, but it's seeming like she's getting ready to drop her next single this Friday. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Mm,
JT of the City Girls just announced that she will be going on tour. We have Miley Cyrus as well, who is teasing a new album. Megan the Stallion just dropped her tour dates. And to conclude all of this brand new, delicious music, we have Miss Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter. She has confirmed and announced that March 29th will be the release of her newest country album titled Act Two Cowboy Carter.
I ain't, I ain't heard it. I ain't looking forward to it.
Why not?
Probably the hype train from the Bay Hive. Is
That's not fair though.
I mean, it is and it isn't because I also feel like at one point Beyonce was like kind of like, oh wow, I'm overwhelmed with this, but she also recognizes like the social power she holds at this point, and
Mm-hmm.
so you know, as a consequence, it's like kind of frustrating because I feel like she does stuff and she doesn't want to put out trash, but I felt like when it came to country, she really didn't do her homework, depending on, I mean, excuse me, including like who helped write the song and who produced the song. Then it was like, oh, we just throw a banjo in there and we just say some of this stuff, then it's country. I don't care if like folks found a line dance they can make to it or whatever, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly felt like it was a piss poor attempt at country. Cause I'm like, y'all don't ever talk about Kane Brown. Y'all don't
Yeah.
talk about Raina Roberts. These is
Yeah.
black artists already doing it. Like y'all ain't
Yeah.
talk about Darius Rucker. And it's
Yeah.
like we had this out here and these folks ain't get enough love and folks weren't looking for them. Now
Yeah.
Beyonce doing it, they're like, oh man, Beyonce doing this just like she did that with House. And it's like, not even on some 313 day stuff, but it's like, yo, House started in the literal hood.
Yeah.
Like
No.
House, and it's like folks never did their homework. And I feel
Yeah.
like the product that gets put out is kind of like just appeasing like a group of people that don't really know anything, but also because of like the hype that she can generate, I feel like she can put out, mid stuff and it's about to be hyped like the greatest thing since
Wait.
like
So you think Renaissance is mid?
I don't think it was mid. I like when I heard it all the way through because I listened to it like on the way to work, like there and back, and I was like, okay, I'm fooling with it. Um, I think Renaissance was like a solid. I give it like a solid 8.5 for sure.
Okay.
Solid eight
Okay.
five.
Okay.
I listened to like tons of house, and I was like, hey, this is
Yeah.
actually pretty smooth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It
Well, I
felt
feel
like a
like
lot of it was like runway house though.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like a lot of like she picked that album is very much like a love letter to the LGBTQ community. You know, like the whole entire theme of the Renaissance Tour album was ballroom, runway, you know, like a whole lot of different like aspects of that. And the album was dedicated to her uncle who passed away like I believe like in the early 2000s to AIDS. So it
Okay.
like conceptually like I got that. But I feel like what seems to be like the general like consensus online is it seems as though Beyonce is taking genres that are typically kind of more so aligned with white people that black
Yeah.
people originated, and in a way kind of like reclaiming them. Because while I see what you're saying 100% in terms of like there have been country artists who have been doing the work, like black country artists who have been doing the work and have been here, but I feel like I've seen a lot more of them since then. But because of the fact that people, it's crazy, but Beyonce's influence is so powerful to where if she were to say we're in the country era now, people now sonically are more open to listening to country music. It's sick, I know. It's
Yeah, I'm
sick,
about
I
to say
know.
it's
But
frustrating.
but I think that I think at the same time it is a win. You know, I do you think that Beyonce could use this opportunity to spotlight more artists?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's like a multi-level frustration. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, this is black music. Black people,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know your history, so you rather make fun of it as opposed to claim it because you grew up
Yeah.
seeing more white artists doing it. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it originated how it originated.
Yeah.
If white artists do it, that's cool too. But don't you dare forget your history.
Yeah. And that's why I
Beyonce,
think that this that's why I think conceptually like this album like this
yeah.
3-act album is really really cool because the
But,
rumor is that act 3 will be rock.
but here's my biggest thing with it though. Shout out explicitly and specifically the people that did it before you.
Yeah.
Instead of just making a house album, include black house artists. You could have put
She
Omar
did.
S on your
Well,
stuff.
yeah, for
You know what
sure.
I'm
She
saying? We could have had a
in the
bona
album,
fide K
yeah.
Tronada feature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you could have
Because
had that.
yeah, because for the Renaissance tour, she like brought them out to open. She had like she included them
Yeah.
like in
For
a
the
lot of the,
tour.
which I mean is probably a bigger paycheck.
It's a bigger paycheck, but it's not a bigger set of notoriety. Like, I mean, it's not a bigger sense of
Mm-hmm.
notoriety. Because for the
Yeah.
folks that ain't making the tour or couldn't make the tour, they can see your
Yeah.
stream, they can get the album. Now we can see
Facts.
Darius Rucker. Now you can use an Aaron Neville sample when he dropped country. Now you can see
Yeah.
Raina Roberts when she called herself like what is it, the princess of like bad girl country. Like, and she
Yeah.
has fire stuff. She's fine too. So
Yeah.
it's like you got people that look good, that sound good, that do good.
Yeah.
Feature them. I don't want to just see I'm Beyonce and I'm doing this. Feature the folk that came before you and put them on the
Yeah.
pedestals that they deserve since you got a platform that they don't have.
Yeah, that's a fair critique. That's something that she did for the Black is King album. Like she included a lot of like artists from Afro beats, like from Africa in the album.
See?
So hopefully she'll
Yeah.
do that for Cowboy Carter. I'm hoping that she does that for Cowboy Carter because Renaissance didn't really have any features at all. It
That's
was I that I mean I as you know I'm Bayhive so
yeah. I
so
mean,
there's no
that's
complaints, but it's a fair
but you keeping
criticism.
it real
It's
though.
yeah, it's a fair criticism.
So I respect your Bayhiveness as opposed to the folks that I called out and was like, that Texas Hold'em ain't country. Oh, it is country, Chris. You know what? If you gotta ask me that, you trying to defend Beyonce as opposed to acknowledge that that song wasn't a good representation of country music. It
Yeah,
technically is country by genre, but we know man, put other folk on, let them elevate you. Be
facts. Yeah,
wise enough to realize that, like, yo, if this is not your forte, let yourself be the side dish.
yeah, for sure, for sure,
Look, because I say
for
this, I
sure.
know we had time. Sometimes the side dish is the star. Beyonce, you so
It's true.
worried about trying to be turkey and you put out this dried out product when you should have been macaroni and cheese and
Um,
everybody would have been loving it. That's
well, the
all I'm
album isn't
saying.
out yet. The album isn't out yet, so I'll wait and see. But if it's anything like Renaissance,
I'm gonna be okay with it.
yeah,
But
if
she
it's
better
anything
not
like
give us no dried out. box of
I'm
macaroni
hoping.
and cheese then.
I feel like that criticism is extremely fair though. I feel like she should work with producers, like black producers, black artists, black writers who are centered around the country community, because that would be a huge deal and a huge opportunity for them.
Yeah.
And include them in the tour. Do both. Do both.
And I'll say this last thing because I know we are over time. For the people that have issues with my critique, if you are willing to defend Texas Hold'em as being straight up and down pure country, then I want you to keep the exact same energy when these country artists use 808s and different drum beats in their music, and then they want to call it hip hop. I don't want
Yeah.
you to say a word.
Yeah, but I do think that it is important that, because we have been dealing with a lot of issues in the black community as black artists, where black artists try to go out of their genres and they keep getting put in the urban category. Like Tyler the Creator had a lot of issues with that. Doja Cat had a lot of issues with that. So if it is going to get recognized by the awards, by the like the Grammys and stuff like that, I would like it to go in as country, just off the merit that it is a she is marketing it as a
No,
country album.
that's valid. It's no, it's so valid.
Yeah.
The overarching theme is very valid.
Yeah, but we see each other. We see each other on those views. We're not too
Right.
far off. We're not too
Yeah, we
far
don't
off. We're not too far.
call a spade a spade. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
All right.
Okay, so I feel like that was a really, really good segment. Got some really good perspectives and some really good thoughts. Let's move on to Pass the Ox. I really didn't mean for that to rhyme, but
if you got bars, you got
yeah.
bars. What would you say last time? I'm from New York. Okay, then.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like everybody who were born anywhere like near New York City or visited
Okay.
at least once got like a pair of Timbs.
Yeah. I
And I
mean,
can
I
mhm.
have a pair.
Exactly. And I can guarantee every kid that was born in New York, like, grew up saying, like, wah, moms. Like, I just see all that happening. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's a bodega on every corner.
Oh yeah, I have my local bodega when I show
That's
up.
what I see. That's the stuff I'm talking
They're
about.
like, "Where you
Y'all,
been? Your mom's been good. What you
y'all don't
want
even know what a
today?"
corner store is, do y'all? That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, the Bronx is different. The Bronx is different. I feel like the Bronx is kind of like a snapshot of a time. You know, it's like it's stayed in time, whereas a lot of things have modernized, been gentrified,
Mm,
updated,
mm,
what they call it.
okay.
But yeah, yeah, the Bronx has always stayed the same.
Yo, yo, Tisha, why you play so? Pass me the ox, quick, 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 quick.
Music of the week. Did you listen to some Victoria Monet? By
I
that, I'm
didn't.
gonna
I ain't
say
gonna lie. Nah, I
it's
didn't.
okay. It's okay. It's
I'm gonna
okay.
cue it up. I've
It's
had
okay. It's okay.
all right, so here's how things work. Let me take the hat off for this.
Oh wow, addressing the people.
Yeah, this is my State of the Union address.
Yeah.
So effectively, the way things flow in my day
Okay.
strongly influences what I do and how I can listen to music. So see
Okay.
what I do listen to and how I listen to it.
Okay.
So all things being like normal and standard, I'm able to like bang out a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Lately, life has been life and I've been fighting. Now, I'm a fighter. I got hands on me. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I'm not even like flexing, and you already see these veins. You feel me? Like I
Okay.
I definitely throw them joints. I didn't plan on throwing them joints though. So then
You
it's
weren't
like,
prepared.
man,
You weren't
I
prepared.
wasn't. So then like I be wanting my pre-workout to hit and it don't hit. And then I'm like, man, I don't feel like listening to some new music right now. Cause I ain't got enough in the tank in case this just ain't hitting.
Yeah, you gotta. You need something. You gotta balance out the album that ain't hitting.
Yeah.
That's
So I be
fair.
having
That's
to like
fair.
turn back up and that's when I listen to like my Quest 2R. That's when I listen to NBA Youngboy, who interestingly I had a very interesting top five Spotify according to people. I
Oh.
already knew Dom Kennedy was gonna be number one or number
Yeah.
two, but he was number one. NBA Youngboy was number two. I believe Larry. No, I think yeah, Larry June should have been number three. I think Dreamville was number four, which was weird.
Okay.
because it became number 4 because of a particular song that I played quite often. And
Oh,
then number 5 was Tyler the Creator, who I could have swore was
nice.
gonna beat out Dreamville. Yeah. And yeah, it was yeah. But anywho, I pretty much listen to it like
It's a
a whole
pretty
lot
a
of
diverse, yeah.
yeah. I be listening to
Diversified.
like a whole lot of hood stuff, tons of hood stuff. If they ain't sinning, then they ain't winning in my ear. I'm playing. Like that's probably gonna be the promo clip. That's wild. But no, I did tell somebody at the gym. I was like, nah, bro, I need some sin in my music when I'm listening. Like,
It's a thing. Last week you were coming at me for listening to SZA.
that's different. Though. SZA is toxic. Like if you like shooting people, you ain't toxic. You just need help. But like,
Yeah.
but it ride when you shoot people to a beat.
Nah, 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 nah. That's still toxic.
That's a crazy
That's still
bar.
toxic.
That's a
That's
crazy bar.
that's
Am
still
I toxic?
toxic.
Am I toxic?
Like, am I the
Oh,
problem?
shoot. Like
Am I the problem?
this is like therapy. I'm like, yo, it's my fault. All right, so
That's what
new
we're
music.
that's why we do that. We do these weekly sessions. That's why we do these weekly
You feel me?
sessions. I'm
Oh
dead.
man. So
I'm
what
dead.
I've
I'm
been
dead.
listening to, like I said, I did peep out that Eric Bellinger. I definitely listened to that Ransom.
Okay.
I've been diving into a lot of like Latin music heavily the last
Ooh.
couple years. So can't translate a lot of stuff
Fair.
because I can speak a little Spanish, but like when you start speaking it like at native speeds, it's a lot harder for me to process.
Yeah, I'm on Duolingo every day. I'm doing what I can. I'm doing what I
Yes, I just be vibing. So let me
can.
pull up the Spotify and see what my listening history say because they
Okay.
make it difficult to find in on the computer. Listening history. Something new. Uh, I
Why
listened
should I?
to the Yeah Glow mixes
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
because they had like a slow down, the chop and screw, and extended one.
Yeah, the
Um,
extended one. Yeah, I've been listening to the extended one a lot.
hey, that Yeah Glow go hard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
did you
Glow.
see the remixes that they did when they put it over Wankster by 50 Cent?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yes, went crazy. Went
That was nuts.
crazy. Yeah, it went
That was
crazy. I'm not even
nuts.
gonna lie. Yeah, it
I
went
need
crazy.
50 to let her get that. Um,
Facts. Get that
let's
sample.
see. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much been it. And I just revisited some old stuff, some old Asher, some old Dom.
Nice.
Um, La Russell, been playing a lot of him. He
Oh,
had an
nice.
album that he dropped recently with DJ Gutter Butter, and
Nice.
La Russell is an artist out of Vallejo, out of the Bay Area. So yeah, he fired too.
Dope. I'm gonna have to check them out.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll make sure to put all of the song of the week, artist of the week recommendations in the description.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna get
for
that playlist popping for y'all too.
yeah, facts. I gotta get that going this week. I gotta get that going this week. But for me, one person I did forget to mention for new music, Tyla.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everybody is on the lookout for Tyla next week. Her
Mm,
debut
I'm
album
on the
is coming
lookout.
out. Her debut
Mm.
album is coming out, and I am so excited. Talk about a future star, future star, future star. So, but very exciting next couple of months for women in music. But Ariana Grande, yes.
Once you said Tyler, I forgot, man. Shout out to Arya Star because I know
Oh
her and Tyler
yeah,
were seen together recently, and hopefully they got a collab coming out because my
they have a song
African women.
together.
That's what I thought. Like, yeah, my African ladies, it lean the Afrobeat game.
Yeah,
It lean.
yeah. Uncle Waffles as well. Shout out to her. Fantastic artist as well as producer. Love her music. Love her music. But Miss Ariana Grande did drop an album, Eternal Sunshine.
Okay.
Conceptual album. Basically, the album is based around the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, starring Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. Premise of the movie being that a couple is breaking up, and it's like a kind of like a post-apocalyptic world. And in that world, you have the option to remove your partner's memories from your brain. But in Jim Carrey going through the memories of his past partner, he realizes that he's still in love with her. So as a concept already, like for an album, heavy, heavy, and like
Facts.
there's a lot of things in the album that I really, really appreciate. That just because Ariana's name has been in the press a lot for a lot of different things, she kind of plays with the perception of reality a lot in the album. Like, is this real? Is this fake? And
I do that.
yeah, fantastic pop album. If you guys are like any Ariana Grande fans, it's kind of like a marriage between Sweetener's like very beautiful melodies and poppy love songs, like mixed with
Yeah.
Thank You Next's kind of like dark poppy atmospheric dreaminess with like a lot of like R&B instrumentals as well, with
Okay.
like with a bit like of like an R&B undertone as well, because Ariana Grande can sing. So
Facts. She's so
yeah,
cold.
yeah.
So cold.
There are some songs on here. She did a song for she performed on SNL. It's called Imperfect for You. This the vocal performance is just out of here, out of here. I'm a singer, so like I really, really appreciate like anytime that someone's doing like live performances and you could tell that mic is on. Okay. So the songs that I want to recommend from the album are definitely Supernatural. You guys gotta listen to Supernatural for sure. Don't want to break up again. The title track, Eternal Sunshine, and Imperfect for You. I feel like those are good for The Boy Is Mine as well. Something that's actually pretty funny is The Boy Is Mine is actually a response to the Brandy and Monica song, but it uses the, I forget how do you say it,
Interpolation.
interpolation of The Boy Is Mine throughout the song. So it's like
Okay.
it's yeah, it kind of has like the DNA of the song, but really good, really,
All
really,
right.
really good.
I'm with it.
So yeah, so that's past the ox. So now we gotta
Lastly,
go.
oh, I was gonna say, I just figured people might want to know. They probably didn't ask for this. I was just looking at my Spotify profile and it said my top artists this month are La Russell and NLE Chopper. That is a very big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my top tracks this month is Choppers by Boz, Until Morning by James Vickery,
Okay.
Woo by Rihanna,
Oh,
and
nice.
that
A little
joint go
anti.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Slipped on a Pill by La Russell featuring Keep the Sneak.
Dope recommendations.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be everywhere.
But that's cool because I'm the same way. Like I'll listen to like Carol G 1 minute and then like I'm listening to yeah, like I said, like my music taste is all over the place as well. Like I listen to a lot of different I listen to a lot of different artists too. So my Apple Music Wrapped at the end of the year will be like, you listen to like 250 new artists or what, like whatever the case may be. Yeah, I like to find people. Like I like to
All
get
right.
out my
Yeah.
comfort zone a little.
Let's talk about our Spotify rap next time, just for the fun of it and what we can expect.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I might surprise you.
there's an app. It does like a weekly kind of Spotify rap. It's called Airbuds. And you can like be friends on it. Like me and my cousins are friends on it. So we can kind of see what their top tracks of the week are. Yeah, like it tells
So
me like all like my top 3 artists of the week
you want
on
to be
what's been
friends?
yeah.
High
I'll
five.
send you the
Pow.
I'll send you the requests.
That I need to
So you can
download it.
download the app. Facts. So now let's go into our main topic, our main press play topic for the week.
I don't think y'all understand. Press play.
I obviously think that this was a great topic given what we were talking about for What's the 411 today. And that, of course, is the Spotify and Apple Music payments to artists would increase significantly under a new congressional bill. Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that you put this in the group chat like the back half of last week. And I think that this is an excellent conversation because I feel like it's a great way, like a great opportunity for the artist, like listeners to hear where we stand in terms of like supporting artists and what how we feel everything should be and like where our minds are at with this topic.
For sure. I'm split. So like the a-hole side of me is like some of y'all don't deserve no 3 cents. And then like the
That's
realistic side is like,
wild.
man, some of these folks trash. I
Those are
normally
your
don't
two
just
sides.
oh no, I'm sorry, that's still the same side. Nah.
I was like, damn. I was like, it doesn't seem like that different.
No, but like the nice side of me is just like, nah, like folks do need to be paid more. But I was actually having a conversation with a buddy of mine this morning about it. And so, he's like, man, there's so much that goes into it. And I was like, it is, but you also got to think about it. Like, we really need to like have a tiered system that works. And it's going to suck for people that aren't popular, but you also
Yeah.
shouldn't be like, yo, I put out this mixtape. I need all y'all to stream it. This is how I feed my kids and like not have a backup. Like swallow your ego,
Yeah.
swallow your pride. If you need another job,
It's
get
real.
that.
It's real.
Because it's not fair for you to be getting paid like near what Snoop is getting paid, but Snoop has more streams. And the reason I say it's not fair for everybody who just got upset at what I said is because Spotify has multiple avenues for listening, whether it be
True.
music, then you have audiobooks, and you have
Podcasts.
podcasts
Yeah.
all in one. Then they
Yeah.
also have visualizers. Not everybody has a visualizer they can add with the music. You
Mm-hmm.
have different things you can do, such as like party play in different modes where you can connect stuff, where you can have stuff that's like in your downloaded library, either on your computer or your phone, and then incorporate that in the playlist. Everybody doesn't have that. And
Yeah.
the reason I bring that up too is because if you do certain events, you're basically just using Spotify as a media player, not Spotify as a streaming like app.
Thanks.
And so it has so many more capabilities than your average application. And this is why it's so large. And so now you want everybody to get paid the same. How are we going to do that for the people who got an audio book? Because if your average song length is two
Mm.
minutes and 45 seconds, and somebody listens to a book that's an hour long, do you want them to get paid per 2 hours and 45 minutes? Because how are they
Yeah.
going to differentiate from streaming the book versus streaming your song? Or do you want to get paid because somebody listened
Yeah.
to 50% of your song? So we gonna pay them for
Yeah.
every minute they listen to the book?
Yeah, because I forget what it is because I forget what the listen time is in order for it to count as a stream.
It's
You
like
know,
sixty
especially
percent
yeah, and
or
especially since
something.
a 60% for a song is gonna be is gonna be different for a podcast or an audiobook. So that is a really good point. There should be like a tier system. But do you feel like the tier system should be like this is streaming for audiobooks, podcasts, or music? Or do you think that you have 50 million monthly listeners and up? This is what you qualify for. You have 20 million listeners and up. This is what you qualify for. You have 5 million listeners and up. This is what you qualify for. You have less than a million listeners. You know?
Yeah, I
Do you
say
think that that
combine both. Right. You should do it based on monthly listeners,
Mhm.
um, bonuses for subscribers,
Yeah.
and then you should also do it based on what category you fall into. Because the reality is like it is a lot different like listening to an audio book than it is listening to a podcast, which is different than listening to, a song. Because
Yeah.
like even this podcast, if we recorded for 2 hours straight, we could upload the 2 hour podcast on YouTube. We could hit it like a Club Shay Shay type situation. But
Yeah.
if you upload that on Spotify, you're typically going to break that up into like the two, maybe even three segments. And then even with some of these podcasts, if you notice, like I listen to some like the Pivot or whatever, and it's like yeah, they had advertisements at the beginning and the middle, just randomly placed.
Yeah.
Like we'll just be talking out of nowhere. They'll be like, yeah, Shout out to Lactate. You know, they really help people like me out who are lactose intolerant and want to drink milk. This is water in here, y'all. But you know, it's like then they just get to talking again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that don't exist in the YouTube clips.
Yeah.
And that's
Facts.
what I'm saying. So it's like it's levels to this, and you're really gonna have to like sit down and put in all the energy and effort to structure this because it does need to be separated
Hmm.
and it needs to be tended to accordingly. I think books inherently should count significantly more than music because it's like way less books that are available, but there's typically more investment per book than there is per song.
True.
But
True.
then people are going to feel away. Well, I put out 10 songs, and it's like, that's what I'm saying. Because the last thing I had told that friend, I was like, how are you going to maintain this? Like, it's easy to just hear a statement or see the statement. Yeah, everybody deserves at least 3 cents. It's like, cool, maintain it then. Give me a breakdown. How much money does Spotify make a year? How many people are on Spotify with just music alone?
Yeah.
Then books, then podcasts. Let me know how many listens does Spotify average per month. And then tell me with the amount of listens that they average per month, if you paid everybody this, how much money are they going to generate? How much money are they going to have to pay out? Is it net negative, net positive? What are you going to do for advertising revenue?
Yeah.
And
And then on
nobody
top of
got them
that,
answers.
yeah,
They
and
just
then on
got
top of that,
feelings.
for podcasts and for audiobooks, for example, like what about like sponsorships and stuff like that? If you have a sponsorship on your podcast, how does that change things and how does that like differ? So there's so many
It's a lot of nuances.
there's so many pieces to this puzzle. I want to read one of the quotes from this article from Uprocks. It says, currently musicians make tiny fractions of a penny per stream. While streaming has grown to represent 84% of recorded music industry revenue in the US, Spotify, the world's largest streaming service, pays rights holders an average per stream royalty 3 cents, which means it takes artists more than 800,000 monthly streams to equal a full-time 15-hour job, like 15-hour paid job.
$15 an hour.
Yeah, $15 an hour. I don't know why I like mentally like
It's cool.
shut down for $15 an
It's cool.
hour.
You like 15 job.
I would say $15 an hour job, but my brain like
No, that's real. Um, no, that's what I said. Like it is tough, and I feel when Snoop was like, "Man, we don't get paid," kind of like we don't get paid, and it's also like,
yeah,
yeah, but while y'all are in a different tier, and y'all should get paid significantly more. But that's what I'm saying for you little artists, like you trying to start, you trying to make your way out the city. You know what I'm saying? Like you should not be getting paid the same as Kanye. And
yeah,
it ain't because you don't have as much respect or people look at you lesser than. Like it just financially doesn't make sense. At a certain point, as people, as consumers, we have to put feelings aside and look at what makes sense. It's not
yeah,
always fun.
yeah,
It don't always feel good. But then if Spotify went away, folks ain't gonna know what to do. It's
yeah.
one of those type deals where folks are like, man, Spotify need to, or I'll switch the title. Okay, cool. Title can't maintain. It don't even have
Doesn't
as
have
many
enough
like
monthly listeners. Yeah, it doesn't have enough
exactly.
monthly listeners. Yeah,
Like, and
it's
it
the
doesn't have the
price. It's the
same.
price.
That's what I'm saying. Even though they like got bought out, you know what I'm saying? Like Apple Music is like they're charging you so much, but then you got to get a separate app for podcasts. And then folks are already talking about how they ain't got money, so you ain't finna pay for a podcast and a streaming music app, and then you still
Yeah,
got to pay for concert tickets, and then you want to pay for albums, and it's like y'all got to make this make sense. If we step aside from our feelings, it doesn't make sense. That's
yeah,
like saying like, man, I ditched cable, but I got Hulu, Peacock, Netflix, YouTube TV. I'm like, you paying more than cable.
yeah. So you were good with just cable.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't be making sense how people move. So I really think that like this is an issue that should be addressed congressionally,
Yeah,
um, or legislatively at least.
yeah,
And I try to be careful because it is a business. At the same time, like there does need to be some regulation to a degree. I mean, I feel like we got so many priorities backwards. I'm sorry, this just irritated me because
No,
we
I
got
mean,
issues. My bad.
yeah, no, you're good. I mean, it makes sense. Like I agree with what you're saying. Because at the same time, if there was like a blanket 3 cents a stream, wouldn't it, you would definitely see who's making more money and who's not, like who's benefiting off of this and who isn't. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they're, for the independent artists, I don't think that they would see that big of a return from it unless they have a set fan base that's going to show up for them consistently for every single drop. And you can't really guarantee that with music nowadays.
you know, and that's the thing too. I've seen it said for years now. Like most of the time, artists tend to make their biggest paychecks from touring,
Yeah.
and so I'm looking at it like a few different ways. Y'all might want to hold a tour, you know what I'm saying, and release a stream later, or do something where like
Do a festival run,
that's what
you
I'm
know?
saying, or like even do something where you release your music um as a package deal with like the tour. Make like a scannable QR code, has
Yeah. A
something
lot
like
of these
available.
packages nowadays, not
Yeah, I
nowadays,
mean,
are
that's
like
how you
really
gonna make your
beneficial.
money. Yeah, cause like if you that upset that like streaming ain't working, it's like I get it. It's the way that we had to go because you weren't buying like physical media. At the same time, you could still just release physical media.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people nowadays where it's like you buy the vinyl, you buy the album. A lot of people do like the gimmicky like cassettes nowadays, even though nobody has a cassette player. It's kind of just like, I guess, kind of like a collectible to say you got it
Yeah,
type beat. But
yeah.
those should count. Like those packages, they generally count towards the streams. I remember that was like a huge controversy back in the day when back in the day with Nicki Minaj and Queen when Travis Scott dropped Astroworld, she was coming at Travis because she was like, Travis is doing all of these packages. So how am I supposed to combat that? Like, I'm just selling an album. Like, this is all my fans just streaming this album and buying the album. Whereas he is using kind of like little shortcuts in order to achieve the number one. But it's like nowadays it's normalized. Nowadays it's something that people regularly do. Like I most of the time it's like, oh, you're shocked if the album doesn't come with some type of package or it doesn't count towards streaming or anything like that. So I agree. What however you can get those money that get that money back, do what you have to do.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I was gonna say like I find it weird that the US has a significant issue with billions of dollars being generated by our future. Now you looking at me like, where is he going with this? And that's exactly why I said that, right?
Yeah.
We say children are the future. We have told plenty of people to go to college, get
Mm-hmm.
degrees,
Yeah.
increase the workforce. You'll make money. You'll be stable. You'll have a job. People do that. They don't get money. We had these people play sports, and it's supposed to be recreation. So why should we pay you? But you got the nerve to even have a legislative rule out saying that they're called amateurs and it's amateurism, whatever the whatever that means. And so
Yeah.
now these kids can't get paid, but you're generating so much money off of them. But then you got an entire industry that makes billions upon billions, and for whatever reason, you're having issues trying to find how we're going to regulate this industry, disseminate money effectively and properly, excuse me, and then make sure that like people get paid a proper value. You don't know how to define what these tiers are, but you can call people amateurs.
And collect the money.
You feel me? I'm just saying we got to make it make sense. We got our priorities jacked up.
Yeah.
We know how to count money when we want to count money
Yeah.
as a country. Like if people know how to get it done. You got all these
Exactly.
business people that can pull up all these graphs and charts.
Oh, yeah. If they were somehow affected in this,
Mm-hmm.
the
You
next day they
you
would strum up a
feel
bill.
me?
Yeah, the next
You
day they would
feel
strum up
me?
a bill. Then we'll be
They be
like,
having
so we
all.
figured it out. So we figured it out.
Yeah.
We all came together and had a between the record
Look,
labels, like government, everyone. We all came together and had a good conversation about it.
cause
Figured
I'm
it out.
like DJ Drama was making mixtapes. Y'all bust in there with guns like the whole ATF and was looking to shoot the man off a mixtape. A mixtape. But you can't figure this situation out?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't
It
know.
don't make sense.
It doesn't, but it's all, I feel like it's all in service of the wheel, so to speak. Like the way things are, everybody's still getting paid. Everybody who's supposed to be getting paid is getting paid.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
mean,
mean? So
100%.
nobody from that end is really putting up any fights. And
That's
that's
what
the
I'm
whole
saying.
issue.
That's
That's
why I
the whole
call a
issue.
spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like going back to the earlier part of the combo. I ain't really tripping if Ye want to sell it for like 20. Like I can't guarantee that I'm gonna buy it. And I only say that specifically because I was underwhelmed with Vultures. I think Vultures
Yeah.
was good rap wise. Production wise, I think it was straight. Like me and my friends compared it to the Life of Pablo.
Okay. Yeah, I
The
like the life
rapping
of
on
Pablo.
Yeah, the rapping on the Life of Pablo was like subpar, but the beats were like really fun. And the
Yeah,
rapping
facts.
on Vultures is a lot better, but the beats are like just decent.
Yeah.
Like still good, but like when you compare Kanye versus Kanye, it's like could have did
Oh
better than that.
yeah. Yeah. There's definitely been a decline. Like
Facts. I mean, but
there's
he's
no
been doing this since like 03, 04 on like a
Yeah.
mainstream level.
Yeah, but I also feel like his like he has that, like I call it a disease. It's the perfectionism disease, where he
Didn't think that's
can't.
what you was gonna say was the disease, but all right.
Well, well, yeah. there, there's some other things he's got going up, but musically, for
All three of
music,
them.
yeah. But for music, I feel like he, like, to the point where like he
Yeah.
would, I'm pretty sure what it was, like the Life of Pablo, or I something bipolar. It's awesome. I forgot what the name of that album was. He was like messing with the mix on the way to the album listening party. At that point, like something that Beyonce said that always stood out to me as like a creative is, once you finish your project, you have to make peace with it and then let it go, because it's no longer yours. It's now the public's. And the
Hey,
public's perception, they're going to be able to say and do whatever they want with this piece of art. So you cannot like hold on to it so tightly. And that's something that I've had to unlearn in my like being creative. So I get where Kanye is coming from, but sometimes it's just like I feel like it's his kryptonite in a lot of ways.
it is. I mean, I've never found a trumpet solo that I love. I've
I like
gotten
that.
booked for gigs. I've played for all types of people, been on stages and everything. People invite me and pay me, and I do this because they like me, and
Yeah,
I don't like myself. Cause when I'm
yeah.
doing it, I'm like, yeah, and then the next day I'm like, bro, that was trash.
I'm
And
the same
everybody be
way.
like,
Yeah.
you did great, and I'm like, nah, I could have tweaked this. I could have changed that. And it's like,
Yeah.
I feel you, Kanye.
Same. That's why I can recognize, because I recognize it in myself. I recognize it in myself. That's why I can call it out to him, because at some point you can't just be like, I'm scrapping this entire album and starting fresh. If you have that idea, like that type of creative drive to do that,
Yeah.
do it. I'm sure that there's so many examples of where that ended up being a Grammy award winning album, but sometimes it's like, stay where you at. Stay right here. Sometimes staying right here is good. But to conclude our conversation about streaming and everything, I feel like I agree with you. I think the tier system would be extremely beneficial, and they need to figure out the splits. Like they just got to figure
Facts.
out the audiobooks, the podcasting faction of it, like everything. What are the splits, and make sure that the artists, for what they are worth at that current juncture,
Yeah.
like what their earnings, there should be some type of like annual review. I feel like, because if there's one business that overnight you could go from 200,000 monthly listeners to 20 million monthly listeners. It's music. So I feel like a yearly assessment is worth something as well. So
This is just me as a person that has a brain that can critically think on a high level and doesn't
yeah,
mind doing it.
yeah, it's real.
It's
It's
so
real.
cold that it's so frustrating why people just don't be thinking.
Well,
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, all of y'all are social media platforms that integrate the same type of messaging. It is
yeah,
going to be text based, video based, and picture based.
yeah.
Why not have a collaborative effort to share information across one another? So you can have Spotify snippets shared on Instagram. You could have links for YouTube on Spotify. Why
Yeah,
not collaborate and then count the streams and everybody gets paid the same time? It's too
it's
much like
greed.
right.
Yeah, yeah. It's greed. It's greed.
Cause I'm like,
It's pure greed.
I I as a person who has YouTube Red, pays for Spotify
I have
Premium,
YouTube Red, yeah.
is like I'm paying y'all. Why am I trying to help y'all make more money because y'all ain't smooth enough to think of it yourself? Are
Yeah,
y'all that dense?
yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I have Apple Music, Spotify Premium, and I guess YouTube Music because I have YouTube Red. But
Mm-hmm.
I have like a very specific way I consume my music, which is
I
why I'm
feel
paying
that.
for all those monthly. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if they combined all of it, it could literally be the Captain Planet of like media streaming.
Yeah.
And it sounds corny, but like when I say Captain Planet, for people who don't know who that is, he's the hero. He took pollution down to the zero. Y'all need to look him up. But like,
Hero.
you feel me? Well, I'm like, it makes too much sense because we have all this short syndicated content. Combine it all. The attention spans is short anyway. You might as well make use of it by having your product
Yeah.
be generated with this short attention span generation.
And plus, with the concept of reels on Instagram, most people just take their videos from TikTok and just probably re-edit it, put a new song, slap a new song on it, and just call it a reel. So, so you would
You
think,
had the whole Universal Music Group issue with TikTok.
which
Combine
by the
yourself
way,
with, oh my God.
something that's crazy that happened while we were filming, I was reading, House passed a bill that could lead to a TikTok ban if I believe like the heads of
That's
the
greed.
whatever China
Greed.
company owns it if they do not choose to sell.
They
So
they specifically have to
crazy
sell to the US, which is like y'all greedy.
and weird. And and
Facts.
and this isn't a political podcast, but Joe Biden, you have a lot of other fish to fry.
You
Let's just
feel
talk
me?
about that.
I'm
He's
like,
talking about signing bills for TikTok when people are dying. But
look, it
but
ain't. I don't. Oh
mm,
my goodness, I don't even want to get into it. I do, but
yeah.
I don't. Because I'm
Yeah,
like,
like that's
y'all violate the Patriot Act every day, but you concerned about TikTok, even though the former president specifically set himself up to have ties for the country to be with Russia, who was allies with China that makes TikTok. Like you literally shot yourself in the foot and then blamed the people who helped take you to the hospital.
yeah. It's like that Eric Andre like meme where it's like he like shoots the guy behind him and he's like, who would do such a thing? You know, like
Every single day.
it's real.
Every single
It's too
day.
real. It's too real.
Lastly, just because we even brought it up, make sure y'all go vote. Exercise that right.
Oh yeah,
It
please,
doesn't count.
please.
It do
It
count because
does.
imagine if none of y'all voted, then nobody will win. So clearly it counts.
Yeah.
Just yeah, go out there and do it. Use
Election
wisdom.
season coming up. Yeah,
Yeah.
please do research. Please educate yourselves.
And I really mean please use wisdom. This ain't
Yeah.
a nod for any one particular person. Just make it make sense.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Don't go for who was that ran out of North Carolina? These nuts. like legit was on the ballot
Yeah.
and like made it, like
Far.
relatively far. It's like, don't vote for these nuts when like we really
Serious
need
things are
to.
going on. Like
For
serious things
real,
are going
though.
on for real within
Like,
this country. Within this
like,
country. Like from the
yeah,
cost of living to just being a woman, like top to bottom, there are a lot of things happening.
I,
A
look,
lot of things happening.
we done
So
got rid of affirmative action, in
yeah.
vitro fertilization for all my
Yeah.
friends and family who struggle with fertility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
dark, 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 dark
And y'all
times.
voted for these nuts. Y'all allowed to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that, with that, we honestly with that topic we could have gone on for another hour.
I
We could have
swear.
honestly gone on for another hour,
Oh man.
but that is the show this week. Another fantastic episode. Yup. Love talking music with you, Chris. Make sure that you guys follow us on all our social media. Please check out the OTS Media Co. YouTube page as well as our Instagram. Make sure you give that love because without OTS Media Co., we wouldn't be here right now. So make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Ash Benny. And where can they find you, Chris?
Y'all can find me at the numeral one, literally one, then Chris, then Rob. All one word. Um, Follow me.
Yeah.
If it's on Instagram, ask to follow me because I'll let
Yeah.
everybody up in my business.
Gotta keep it private sometimes. Gotta keep
You
it private.
feel me?
Yeah. And let us know what your guys' thoughts are on this whole entire streaming situation. Like, where do you fall in terms of paying out the creatives? We would love to hear from you. And as well, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to hit that notification bell. And yeah, we're out for this week. See you next time. I was like, what is. All right.
I had to get that quick DJ Snowflake for 313 day. And everybody, I would love for y'all to like blow up Ash's spot because she got a Moon Knight comic, and quite frankly, that's super dope. And I don't think y'all understand.
Oh, my backdrop's actually fire. Like I got a whole lot of stuff back here.
You feel me?
I got
Damn.
hold on. I got Catwoman sitting up here. We got Scarlet Witch up there.
I just did that.
Sheriff
That's real though.
Clueless.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
My Michael Corleone Funko, he's on the floor over there, but he's supposed to be up here. He fell.
hey, I got the Spirit of Detroit behind me.
Oh, we love that for 313 Day. Yes.
Yeah, rocking the Tigers jersey too. The white boy. Outside of that, when I get my stuff together, y'all might see a periodic table behind me again.
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to have one, but it like would fall off the wall.
Oh damn. You gotta get like real science guy behind. You gotta have like a little like chem table. Test
Hey,
have something bubbling behind you.
Hey, so jokes aside, like I be holding my like paper clips and stuff and like a little test tube.
I love that.
The
commitment I live.
And it has words that spell out. Yeah, I be cooking. I be cooking. You know what I'm saying?
I see you.
Yeah, I got an extra lab coat hidden off camera. Y'all don't even know.
Because you never know. You never know when you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I got two on me. I got me an extra fancy anti-static nylon lab coat. I don't need no shocks happening.
Okay. 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 But that's actually for a lab coat, that actually makes perfect sense, Yeah. So you're very practical. We love to see it.
Gotta be. One of these days I'll tell y'all the stories of when I've gotten beside myself and effed up in the lab and inhaled acids or spilled stuff on my hands.
Sure. Oh my God, that's anxiety inducing.
Hey, you know,
Scares me
you
so
live and
bad.
you learn.
Yeah. Emphasis on learn. Emphasis on live. Emphasis on live.
Emphasis on both of them.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
I got stories.
Oh man. Oh man. But all right, guys, that's the show. We'll see you next week.
Luego hit the gym today.
Oh yeah, right after. Right after this. Right after this. So bye.